guys? Welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to hear a story titled, My Girlfriend Said She Needs to Keep My Self-Esteem Low or I'll Leave Her Because I'm Good Looking and She Says That Behind My Back. What should I do? And guys, this article is about a young guy. He's like 23 years old. His girlfriend's 24. And pretty much just like it says in the title, he found out that his girlfriend is deliberately basically trying to sabotage things with him obviously trying to have, good self-esteem and good self-image of himself. And that way then pretty much he'll never leave her. And so this story is a perfect example of things I've told you about, guys, in previous videos about how you really have to be careful with who you let in your life, in your circle, whether it be friends, girlfriends, anybody who you spend amount of time with, because there are people in this world that are just complete shitheads. Whether it could be women, and it could be coworkers, family members, friends, doesn't matter who it can be. They will want to keep you down. That way then it doesn't make them look bad, okay? And I've said this before, guys, especially you guys that are trying to improve yourselves and make your lives better. You're going to find, mark my words, that there are going to be people that aren't going to like the fact that you are moving ahead while they aren't doing anything to better their lives. And the last thing you want to do is to have those type of people in your life, because they will hold you back. They will try all sorts of ways to sabotage you. They will try ways to manipulate you, make you feel like you can't accomplish this or accomplish that. And a lot of people, and men and women, it doesn't make any difference, both do this. A lot of people aren't strong enough to deal with that because they don't have a strong self-esteem, strong self-worth. They don't have as much determination as they need, and they let themselves be completely just screwed over like that. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. And this story here about this guy is a perfect example, because obviously he's young, and from what you're going to see here, it's a brief story. He's got low self-esteem, and she's literally doing that so that he won't leave her. And this is a common thing that a lot of women do, where, I've heard more than a few times these surveys that are done about how supposedly women are more attracted to guys with dad bods, the type of bods where guys have the beer belly, and they have the man boobs and a lot of hair on their back, like they look like Chewbacca, that supposedly they're actually more attracted to guys like that than actually guys that are fit. And that is the biggest load of bullshit ever, okay? Believe me, there isn't a woman walking the earth that wouldn't want to have their man be fit and look good physically. And I don't mean he needs to look like a professional bodybuilder or anything, but just fit, There isn't a girl, I've never met any woman that says, I want a guy, I'm so hot for a guy that has man boobs, saggy man boobs, or a big belly and all that. However, the reason that surveys come about is because a lot of women, they don't want to lose their guy to another woman. So they claim they want that guy, and many will do things to get guys to obviously put on some weight or be less attractive to the opposite sex so they can keep their guy. No joke. And I'm sure there are guys who are watching me right now that know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's some women watching me now that either have done that and aren't going to admit it, or know other women that do that on purpose to keep their guy. No joke, guys. Before I get into this story, I'm just going to say this here. A couple days ago, no joke, I'm on the phone with a friend of mine, and he has a big goal wanting to run a marathon in a year and a half or so. And he used to do he's done half marathons and all that, but he wants to accomplish this. However, in the last year and a half, he's put on a bunch of weight and stopped running as much because his first child was born, and then COVID happened, and a lot of people obviously got out of shape and put on weight, so he hasn't been running for a long time. And so he wants to do this, and obviously he's got to lose a bunch of weight because he's put it on, and let's just say his wife is less than supportive. Now, she's not exactly, she's a bit challenged in the looks department, to put it mildly, and she's overweight. Now, he brought this up to her, and guess what? He said to me that pretty much, he said, oh, you're never going to be able to be like you were when you were younger, something like that. And the guy's young. The guy's in his early 30s. This is his wife saying this. Oh, you can't do that. You're never going to be like you were when you were younger. That's bullshit, because I have a client who, when he was 40 years old, ran a marathon, okay? So you're telling me, and this guy was not a runner. But you see how and he knew, and he already could just pick it apart that she obviously was sabotaging it, because if he lost a bunch of weight and got a bunch of shape, but she's doing nothing to improve herself, in her view, people are going to look at her and judge her. Why isn't she doing that? Why is he looking much better and not her? See what I mean? And, because the dude's married, and he's a good guy, I choose my words. I'm direct about things, but I also, choose my words. But I have to say shit because he knew. He knew darn well she's trying to sabotage. But do you think and I said, don't let it hold you back. And he's not. He's going to move forward and get back into his training, and he's going to lose weight. I was advising him on the best things he can go about doing that, and he'll do it. But I don't think it's a very good idea being with someone like that. But that's an example of the sabotage. So anyhow, guys, and I got more examples. I'm going to get into this more, but I'm going to read this guy's story. It's not too long, but to show you just how much a shithead this guy's girlfriend is and how women can be like that to try to sabotage things and to keep their guy down so that they can keep their guy. No joke. So it starts off, and bear with me, guys. This guy didn't exactly write this very well, so I had to make a few minor adjustments here. He says, so I've been dating my girlfriend for nearly a year. She has a group with her girlfriends on WhatsApp, and we have a mutual friend there. She sent me screenshots of my girlfriend talking behind my back. Her friends told her that I'm attractive by society standards and that she should keep my self-confidence low so I wouldn't leave her for a hotter girl. Isn't that a shitty thing to do? If you would think that if you really care, a woman would care about her guy and really love him and all that. Well, we know the joke about women in love, but care about her guy. She wouldn't be saying and doing things to make him feel less. She'd be trying to prop him up. But this woman's obviously insecure. Her friends are shitheads. And, you always pay attention who your girl's hanging out with, the type of people. Are they a bunch of miserable, unhappy people that are alone? They may try to sabotage things to get her to be alone. Back to the whole be careful who you hang out with. But in this situation, they're influencing her, and she's trying to keep him down so he wouldn't ever notice somebody better. She agreed and said she's been indirectly telling him that he looks horrible and no one would date him other than her. That is terrible. Telling your guy that you look horrible and no one would date you. Why the hell would this guy be with her? That's my question reading this. But you're going to find out this guy obviously has very low self-esteem. And you spend your whole life having low self-esteem, low self-worth. There are a lot of people, a lot of guys that will end up staying with some woman that treats him like crap because that's just what he thinks he's worth. How many times have we talked about women that have daddy issues, or women go out with guys that treat them like complete garbage. But they stay with them because they think that's what they're worth. That's what they're conditioned to be. And so low self-esteem, low self-worth. Same thing happens to guys. He says that no one would date him than her, and that I've been getting approached a lot at parties, and she's finding a way to make me stop going to them. So this guy, he's a good-looking guy, and obviously other women notice him, so she's trying to stop him from going to parties and hangouts to keep the girls away. What does this say about her? But obviously, notice this guy, because he has a low self-esteem, he attracted this type of woman to make him feel this way. He's felt this way about himself his whole life. No joke, guys. I mean, there are things you can talk about with the laws of attraction, and we are what we attract, all that type of thing. He attracted to this woman in his life. He feels like shit about himself, so he attracted someone into his life, this girlfriend, who reinforces his own views about him. It's interesting. She says she's been sabotaging him going to parties, and that he'll never find someone as attractive. And then they cracked a few jokes about that. The good-looking ones, as in guys, have low self-esteem, and there were also 2 similar voice messages. He says, I'm devastated. I can't believe she thinks about me like this. I've been struggling with self-esteem since childhood because of problems in my family. What should I do? I've been working on myself, and I think it makes sense to believe she's the one who has been stopping me from improving. Right. So notice he says here that he's had this since childhood, okay? And it's amazing the type of crap we go through when we're young and how that can come into our adult life if we aren't aware of it and take action to try to change these bad things. It's not his fault that he had a shitty childhood and his bad situation with his family, but as a man, as an adult, he can't let that stuff hold him back. Because already, look what it's done at a young age. What if this guy freaking married this girl or got serious with her, okay? Because a lot of guys do that. They don't think they're worth anything, or they're only worth a certain amount, and they settle for rotten people. So what he asks, what should I do? I'll tell you what to do, dude. You get you dump this broad. You get the hell away from her. That's what you do. And you start working on yourself. You start doing things to improve your life in all areas and really focus on you, and some self-help that certainly would help. Read some good books, watch some good videos, and don't ever spend your time with people that are bringing you down, okay? No matter how much you think deep down of yourself. Otherwise, they're going to keep you from getting to where you want to be. And like I said, there's a reason he's with this girl, because again, he's putting that energy out there. He's attracting someone that exactly makes him feel what he thinks about himself. I guarantee his family made him feel like shit growing up, so now he's with someone that does the same thing. And so many people do that. So this is why, guys, you got to be careful. You really got to be careful. If guys, when you were young, if you grew up in a family situation where they made you feel like less, that you weren't going to amount to anything, I completely what that's like, because I had some of that bullshit growing up as well. I found out later on, these people in family were jealous of me, that it's very easy to let that make you think that you're not worth anything. That's bullshit, okay? But you have, as an adult, as a man, you can't let that impact your life. You can't let that hold you back from your destiny of greatness, okay? Because we all have the potential, guys, to do well in our lives, okay? Most people, by and large, unless somebody has some definitely developmental issues or mental issues, we are all far more capable of accomplishing in life than most people actually do. It's amazing. Most people just settle and they don't do shit, and yet they bitch and complain. They don't have enough money. They don't have the type of friends they want. They're not in the type of relationships they want. All these type of things, but they're not willing to do anything about it, you know? So, and I have no sympathy for people like that, because we can all do things to make our situation, our lives better. Okay, I'm all about self-improvement here. This channel is about a lot of things, but a big thing is self-improvement and accountability. You know, you're not entitled to this, entitled to that. You got to make shit happen for yourselves. But I'm getting a little off track here. But the bottom line is, this guy, whoosh, get her out of his life. And so any of you guys in a situation like this, whether it be with a girlfriend or a wife or friends or family members, you need to distance yourself completely from them. And the hardest thing is if it's family members, because at the end of the day, they're always going to be your family. Now, a lot of people have ideas like, you got to stick with your family no matter what, the whole thing about blood and all that bullshit, you know. But in my view, if you got family that are being assholes to you, that are holding you back, done. I got family members I got nothing to do with because of shit like that happened when I was younger, and they're still the same fucking way now when I'm 43 years old. I got nothing to do with them. And believe me, if they were jealous of me back then when I was younger, they're definitely jealous of me now where I am in life, you know. And, you know, success is truly the best revenge. So fuck them. But anyhow, guys, you gotta be careful with who you surround yourself with, or it's gonna have an impact on you, like this guy's story. Now, quick update here. He says, the story is a good ending here. He says, update. Wow, I didn't think this would get a lot of attention because it's not a typical crazy story or situation. But thanks, everyone. I've made the decision to break up. Good. Thank God it happened before she moved in. I've always tried to be loving and kind in my relationships, but I guess most are always gonna hurt me and boost their ego and keep me down no matter what. Notice he says that I always try to be that way in relationships. So this isn't the first time he's with a woman, with a girl, that does this type of crap or makes him feel like less. See what I'm talking about? The law of attraction, he is attracting those type of people in his life because that's the way he feels about himself. He's got to work on himself. I wouldn't do any, if I were him, if he's obviously a relationship guy, I wouldn't do any relationships for a while until he worked on himself and really dug down and figured out these type of things so he doesn't bring more of these people into his life, because mark my words, it's going to keep happening until, you know, but he's on the right path because he's kicking her ass to the curb, and that's good. He says, thanks for the advice, everyone. I know I need to man up. Wait, hang on a second here. He said, I missed that part. He says, thanks for the advice, everyone. I know I need to man up and not be emotional, but it hurts, man. I'll keep it up. I'll make an update when we break up. So, yeah, it hurts. I get it. That's understandable. You're human, but don't let it freaking bring you down, go around doing with the whole woe is me shit, okay? But good for him. Ended with her, walk away, never look back. She's fucking toast, all right? And again, like I said, he needs to work on himself so he doesn't attract these more type of people in his life. But guaranteed, mark my word, life is funny, and he probably, even if he does work on himself, he's still some of these people are going to try to come into his life, and he's got to have the strength early on to recognize these type of people. Again, coworkers, friends, and girlfriends, lovers, whatever, and get him out of his life. Otherwise, this type of bullshit can happen. So, aside from an interesting story and to show you guys that this is the type of crap some women do to keep their guy down so no other women can take him away, this is also a good lesson about just life in general, about the people you have in your life and surround yourself. Honestly, it is far better to be on your own than have half-ass or shitty friends or shitty people in your life, because they'll bring you down. Like I said, most people don't do shit with their lives. They just do just enough so they can keep their jobs and not get fired, but yet complain about everything. And I'm sure many of you guys watching this video can think at least one person, man or woman, that fits that mold, fits that profile, that does that, okay? And they're always unhappy, and they're going to try to sabotage you. They're going to be jealous of you. You know, you're going to have what they call them frenemies, those types. Get them out of your life. It's far better to be on your own and doing your thing, because you can always trust yourself. You can always trust yourself no matter what. At least, I hope so. But anyhow, guys, that'll be a good story to go. It's a quick one, but just an example type of bullshit that women do with guys. And in general, shitty friends can do, because they're jealous and they don't want to lose you, and they don't want to see you succeed, because it makes them look like they're not accomplishing shit. Just like my friend's wife that I just talked about in the beginning of the video. So anyway, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know in the comment section. Have you been in a situation where this was going on in one form or another with a girlfriend, wife, friends? What'd you do about it? Please do share, because people do read these comments. They could help them out. If it can help out one person somewhere on this planet, then that's great. It's helped. So, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.